So first, the introduction. This is simple. This is easy. You say, here's who I am, here's who I help, and here's what I help them with. It's really that simple. Here's me, here's what I do, here's who I help. Short, sweet, simple. 2 is your results. You want to share what you've accomplished and what you've helped others accomplish. What gives you right to teach what you teach? And what have you helped others do as a result of your teachings? This, though, you want to keep shorter than you think, and here's why. It is not uncommon for trainers, people like us, to get awkward when their credibility is in question. And so just remember these 3 points, that people are not grilling you. They want answers, right? They're looking for solutions. So they just want to know that you know what you're talking about. Remember, in this lead magnet, you're not asking for a sale. You're just helping them out. So when you're talking about your results, keep this in mind. If you're going over 5 minutes, you're pushing it. If you're going more than like a few pages in an ebook, you're pushing it. Keep it short, keep it sweet. Let them know what you've done, what you've helped others do. It's pretty simple. Your story. So this is a longer bit about the moment you decided to change and the challenges you faced as you began your journey. So you want to really paint the picture of what was the moment in your life when you decided, no more. I'm sick of it. I'm changing. I'm making a difference, right? I mean, if you're into like the relationship space, was it a rejection that happened that you decided, that's it, I'm changing, I'm sick of this? Or was it a breakup that happened? If you're in kind of the business or career space, was it a certain day on the job when you decided, that's it, I'm done, I'm starting my own business? Paint that picture. Really capture the moment you decided, I'm going to change. Why? Because that's where they are. And then what you want to share, the challenges you faced as you started, right? Because things weren't just peachy clean when you began, right? It wasn't like you just chose to change and, oh, everything is wonderful, right? No, there was a journey. Now, this is different from the rags to riches story. And that's true because you're not just sharing your story of how bad everything sucked before you started, right? That's the classic rags to riches story is, here's how much my life sucked, and here's how awesome it is now. And I can teach you how to do that, right? No, you're starting to get in the middle, in between those here, with this part, with what I'm teaching you to do here. So the reason for this is your audience has taken action and made a decision to change or to learn how to change, right? They're listening to you, the expert, the speaker, the coach, the guru, right? So when you began, there were still challenges. And actually, the challenges were probably much bigger because you were just starting your journey, right? Guess what? That's where they are. That's where your audience is. Your audience doesn't suck. And if you've been thinking they do, I mean, you probably don't think that. I hope you don't. If you do, they don't. Why? Because they've decided to change. They're studying your stuff. They're listening. So you have to connect with them where they are, mentally and emotionally. And that's why the whole holier than thou BS does not work today. And my example of that is, if you ever land on a page and the guy or the gal is just showing you their nice car and their beach house and how wonderful they are and that kind of thing, that's what they're doing there. They're positioning what they're trying to do is demonstrate the results I've gotten, but it doesn't connect with people anymore. It really doesn't. People don't want to see that. People want to know, can you help me get where I want to go, right? And so with this twist on the rags to riches story of starting at the beginning of the journey, you will connect with your customer so much better than if you just show your nice flashy car and tell them, oh, I used to be homeless, right? You're getting into the thick of it. It's very cool. It's because they want to know how to overcome the challenges of actually doing it. See, anyone can decide to change, right? Anyone can say, I'm going to change. But doing it is much more difficult, right? And that's what you show them how to do. So start doing that. And this is when you share that it's possible to change. This is when you share that they can break through. And you're using this time to do 2 things. 1, share your story so they get to know you better. See, you have trainers that you admire, and part of that is because you feel like you know them. So get personal. Talk about your family, your friends, and share their names. If you want to change their names, go ahead, but let the audience feel like they're getting to know you. Inject your personality in there. Have fun with it. Play with it. If you're a playful person who likes to joke around in it, right? Be you, because that will connect with them much more. They'll see, okay, this is a real person. This isn't some guy who says he's an expert and he's a big guru and he can teach you how to be perfect. No, nobody wants that. People want to know the actual person. Is that right? No, this makes sense. I'm kind of beating a dead horse. Let's move on. So the second thing you're doing here is you're expressing and overcoming their doubts and objections. Now, people, other trainers who teach how to build these kind of businesses online have taught this point before as a way that you can overcome the audience's objections to buying a product, right? But this is different. Instead, use this as a time to face and prove that the personal and mental and emotional doubts, those blocks that they are experiencing, are not valid or even true. So you're not talking about like, oh, does this program work? You're talking about, do I have the time to do this? Am I worth it? Am I capable of doing this work? Whether it's starting the business, losing the weight, finding the boyfriend, finding the girlfriend, building the business, whatever it is. You're talking about those deeper emotional and mental blocks. And even say to them, look, I doubted myself and didn't think I could do it. I wondered if my family, my friends would like me for it. I wondered if I'd ever find the time or the money. And here's how I did, right? So as you're sharing your story, these are the big things you want to hit on. Then what you want to do is something very special. And actually, I can't believe I'm sharing this with you because I've only seen the real power of this in the last couple of months. And that's positioning yourself as the leader and the rebel. And again, this is some weird psychological trick I can't totally explain. So what you're doing is you will distinguish and separate yourself from other trainers in your industry. You want to make yourself distinct and different. Even go as far to say as I want nothing to do with them. Right? Whoa, that's a big statement. Then position yourself, so that's you positioning yourself as a rebel, right? Then you want to position yourself as a leader by saying, now, I don't want to work with those people. I want to work with people who are, boom. And then you outline your ideal average customer. And if you don't know who your ideal average customer is, you need to go to our page at embarkinternetmarketing.com and watch our lead magnet there. We'll share with you how to do that, how to outline your ideal average customer and do all the market research. Right? Can you see the power of this? I went over this kind of fast, but you're basically saying, I want nothing to do with big trainers, right? Those people who think they're better than everyone else. Here's who I want to work with. You, the audience, the person listening. Pretty cool. Because your audience doesn't have it all figured out, but they're making a huge effort. They're on the path. I say, hey, I'm committed to working with people who are committed to growth, change, and taking control of their life. I want to work with people who are just figuring it out. They're on the path. They're working on it. They don't have it all perfect. Pretty cool. From there, you then move into the big problem. So then bring up the number one challenge people face when they start this work. Whatever it is you teach. What is the first big block, right? And a way to figure this out is, what's the biggest question you get from people, from clients, when they start, right? What's the most commonly asked question? And then you will literally say it. The biggest challenge you will face when you start this work is, boom, and you line it out. Or the most common question I get, this is a great one. The most common question I get from people who are starting to build a business online is, what are all the big pieces, the big components I need to make it happen? What are kind of the main buckets to make this process work? Does that make sense? Then you want to move to the solution, right? Now, this is the bulk of the lead magnet. This is most of the content. I'd say 70-80% of what you're talking about. This is the how to reach a solution, how to reach an outcome. And here is where you will build all the credibility you will ever need if your training helps your audience actually get results. If your training is presented in a way that actually helps your audience get results, it's clear, it's easy, it's simple to understand, you have all the credibility you need if it actually helps them, right? Because that's all they care about. All they care about is the result. I mean, one of my mentors is Bob Proctor. And the guy had a few, I think like 4, maybe 5 months of high school under his belt. And he's achieved a tremendous amount in his life. So all you need for credibility is to help your audience get results. That's it. Now, I recommend making this solution one of the juiciest, meaning best, pieces of information, pieces of content that you have. And go for the wow factor. When people are going through your lead magnet, you want them to be thinking like you want it to totally blow their socks off. So what piece of training that you have, when you show it to people, makes them go, oh my God, you changed my life. That's the solution you should use. You want them to think, hey, if that's this guy's free stuff, just imagine what I'll learn in their program, right? That's the kind of reaction you want. And you may be wondering, okay, do I really want to give away my best piece? Well, yeah, you want to create that wow factor. You want to create this feeling of, God, if this is free, what else is there? So once you give them the big wow factor with the awesome solution, the great framework to an outcome, you want to summarize it and then bring them to a call to action. So you want to just wrap up what you taught them. Hey, here's what we learned. And then tell them what to do next. Again, have them spread and share, or apply and act, or go and get. It's pretty easy. But you want to be totally clear before you want to send this out and double check that your system, wherever they go to click on, whether it's a sales page or your Facebook page, make sure it actually works before you send anybody to it. I mean, that's kind of basics, right? Make sure it works before you start driving traffic to it. But for some reason, it's important to say, and I've made that mistake a few times, I'll be honest. And then lastly, thank them for investing their precious time in your training. Then tell them where to go. Your site. Tell them to go to your site, your page, whatever it is. So what do you need to do next from here? One, I would say figure out where this fits in your strategy. So once your audience has read, watched, or listened to the lead magnet, what do you want them to do? Where do you want them to go? Is it buy something? Is it share something? What is it? And then ask yourself, are you just selling one thing and that's it? Or is this part of a bigger picture? Is this part of a grander strategy? Now, if you're serious about this work, this is part of a bigger picture. We don't help people who are just mucking around. We help people who are serious about this. And I refuse to work with folks who are just here to build a source of cash flow on the side. So if you want to do that, that's great. And there's plenty of excellent programs online on how to make passive income using the internet. There's a lot of good stuff. This is not one of these trainings. I want to work with people who are on a mission. That's my mission. I want to work with leaders who have an important message that needs to be shared, that the world's waiting for. Leaders who provide training that changes lives, truly changes lives for the better, and adds to the life of the world. That's who I want to work with. Second would be to figure out who your audience is, how to talk to them in a way that compels them to act, and then do the research online so you can optimize your site and get free traffic that just flows to you. It's crazy. So imagine basically people flowing to your web pages through social sites and search engines, and that when they get to your site, they're eager for more of your training. If you actually do what I outlined here today and build this lead magnet, you'll be on the path to that. And you can learn how to do that. Just visit our site, embarkinternetmarketing.com, and enter your name and email to get started. It's simple. We'll walk you through every little step so you can navigate your marketplace and post yourself in a prime spot online where your audience will find you. And thanks for watching. Now get at it. Get moving. Head over to our site. Watch that training on how to do the marketing research so that when you build the lead magnet, it's strong.